So there's this old gnarly tree that I've driven by like 10 million times, and I look at it every single time I drive by it, and I tell myself, I need to stop and shoot this thing. There's a good place to pull off. You can park. It's vacant property, and it's a tree with some character and some distinct features. And for some reason, I've never been able to swing it. I've never been able to stop and get some images of this thing. I've thought about doing it with astrophotography, but I go to bed at 9 o'clock. So shooting astrophotography these days is easier said than done. But last week, I actually pulled it off. I made time to get out and go shoot this thing. The conditions weren't great, super windy, cold. The sky was okay when I got there. But when the sun went down, I've got a fleeting glimpse of some good light. And hopefully I've taken advantage of it. And right now I'm going to take you right into the old Photolab and take you through some of the images that I got and go through some of the processing steps, and I hope you enjoy it. So thank you very much for stopping by the channel. If it's your first time here, please hit the old subscribe button. I'm getting close to 1,000, and with your help, I will certainly get there. So thank you folks very much, and here we go off into the Photolab. All right, so here I am in the old Photolab, and I'm looking for an image that I want to process. I'm in the develop module of Lightroom, and you can see all of my images down here along the bottom. I've already deleted out some ones that I really didn't like. So I'm on this one here. I'm thinking about this one. I kind of like this one. Could probably work with that a little bit. And I'm thinking about this one. I'm going to do this one here. And I'll show you why here in just a second. But like normal, I start with white balance. And I'm going to look at auto and see what that gives me. I'm going to look at daylight. It's too blue for me. It's not too bad. Coming back to auto, I'm going to go with that. And now I'm going down to lens corrections, and I'm going to check both of those. I'm going to hit transform and then go to auto. I'm just doing that so I can get my horizon line straight. It should have been, it was close, it was pretty close to straight. As you notice, it didn't move too much. And that's something that you want to make sure that you're doing out in the field. You want your camera as level as possible, especially when you shoot in architecture, if you do that kind of thing. So going back up to the basic panel, and I'm going to take the highlights all the way to the left, the shadows. I'm going to open them up quite a bit. Now you're seeing I've got a lot of stuff here, and I'm hoping that all this stuff is not on my sensor, and there's no way it can be on my sensor. But there's a lot of yuck in this image, and the lens must have, I don't know what happened, but the lens definitely has a lot of stuff on it. So that's going to be quite a chore to clean that up. You might not be able to see it yet, but I'll show you in a second. This is very bizarre. This doesn't happen. But hey, you know what the heck? It's good for you guys to see this so you can not let it happen to you, because this, it's a halfway decent image until you look at the crap that's on my lens. So back to the processing. I'm going to hit the Alt button on my Mac, and I'm going to go to the whites. I'm going to click and hold and drag it until I can see where I'm clipping. And now I just did, if you guys saw that. Okay, so now I'm good with the whites. I'm going to do the same thing with the blacks, but I can take the blacks a little bit further. There. See, what I like about this image is how, it's a longer exposure. It's 4 seconds, f22, ISO 64. So, and the sky was moving, as you can see. So the sky and the clouds are moving towards the subject, the grass and the lines, right? You have these lines here, these lines here. Everything's taking you to the subject, which is nice. So now I got to deal with this crap in the sky, and it's just awful. So I'm going to hit the heel clone button here, right underneath the histogram. And I've got visualized spots already checked. And look at all this. It's just awful. So I'm not going to make you guys sit and watch all of this. So I'm going to stop recording, and we'll pick up again when I get all this cleaned up. All right, so I've got all that stuff cleaned up, and it's much better, but I'm not sure how my lens got so dirty. I'm 99.999% sure that's not on my sensor, but I will be checking that. So, as far as this image goes, I think it still needs some work. I'm going to give it a little bit of clarity. I'm going to drop the exposure a little bit. I'm going to give it a graduated filter. And I'm bringing it down just about half a stop. Kind of like that. Still seeing some spots that I missed. And I've not cropped this image at all. And I'm kind of wondering if I'm even going to. Kind of like how it is. I'm going to give it a little bit of a vignette. Went a little bit further. I guess I didn't. Went about normal. I'm usually between -12 and -15 on the vignette, and it's kind of right where I'm at. This would be a little bit further. It's not actually not too bad. That's -28 on the vignette. I'm gonna call it done. Kind of like it. I added, just so you guys can see, I added no saturation. I added no vibrance. 23 points of clarity, nothing on texture. So, kind of aside from, taking out all of the spots, and I still missed a lot. I would never in a million years try to sell this image, which I mean is disappointing. It's kind of a cool picture. I could, if I really wanted to, I could clone this out. This is like a cell tower in the background. Could certainly take that out, but given the other problems with this picture, I'm certainly not gonna waste my time doing that. But it was a beautiful night, and I've always wanted to go out and shoot this tree, and it would be a great tree or a great subject for shooting astrophotography. And sometime I will have to get out and do that. So, all right, well, we're gonna call this one done. But I was thinking we'd take a look at another one. So I only had the sun like this. I only had this sky for a very short time. That went away. It was very fleeting. So this is kind of what I had after that saturation went away. Very moody. I kind of like it. You can see this is a 30-second exposure. So the sky is just very soft. You can't really make out the clouds. It's very serene image. I kind of like these better than the sunset. All right, so this is the one that I'm gonna process this one. I really like how the sun is a starburst here and catching the left side. And I set this up on purpose, right? Because you have this giant limb sticking out to the right. So I was thinking out in the field that the sun would help balance this out. It helps, but it doesn't totally balance it out. And you can see it got a little bit of sun flare right there. And radio tower still in there, but yeah, we're gonna process this one. So same process. I'm gonna go to the auto, and I'm gonna go right back to as shot because I like that better. I'm gonna take the highlights down, shadows. I'm gonna open them up. I'm gonna bring them back down to about there. Lens corrections, transform, get my horizon straight. I'm going to go to the heel brush, and I am going to get this little bit of sun flare out. We'll see how well it does. Pretty good. I like it. Now, normally I don't put the subject in a landscape image, right in the middle. But for this, I kind of felt that it worked out in the field. I was thinking square image or 9 by 16, 1080. I'm still seeing spots. It's driving me crazy. I like the sky. I like how the light in the field down right through here gives you some depth. You can see the rays, the sun rays on the grass in the foreground. I like the great big soft sky and the different tones that are going on throughout the sky. So yeah, I think I'm just going to add a little bit of a vignette to this. And that's it. So, 2 images processed, the lone tree out in the Midwest. Not too bad. Always check your lenses. Make sure your lenses are clean. Your sensors as well, obviously. And that's about it. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Very easy images to process. Kind of the same routine. So I hope you guys are getting something out of this. I really appreciate you all stopping by. Please come by next week. We'll have some more images and possibly go into the processing again as well. So again, I am Garrick. I am your best friend in the whole wide world. So hit that subscribe button and I will see you next week. Thank you so much, folks. Bye bye.